Life is good 13. 13 love to y'all. You are creation 13. I'm Ambassador, I'm Starseed. And today I'm entitling this video False Messiahs Following Fallen Angels. And what I mean by that is Messiah stands for a messenger. And people seem to forget that translation. You know, we are all messengers. When you're on a spiritual journey, you have a message to share. You know, that's basically what it is. You have a message to share. It doesn't mean that you're the it factor. It's just you have a message to share. And I think a lot of people really get locked up in their own ego, and thinking that they're better or their knowledge is better um, for humanity. And basically, you know, I came across another video today, and that's what inspired this video, is that people are proclaiming themselves to be the it factor. You know, that you need to follow or worship them because they are the chosen Messiah, or they are the Christ. Um, they are chosen by God to lead the world to a new structure. Without them, they cannot be saved, um, and just things of this nature. You know, and we have seen this. You know, this has been happening for a long time, but you know, now more than ever, it's really starting to get just ridiculously huge. Because I mean, literally, I talked about this in one of my other videos on how there's people proclaiming to be the Jesus character, and there's towns that have been created for the Jesus character, person that they claim themselves to be and stuff. Churches, oh my gosh, there's one person that made a huge church chain, just like you know the Vatican's and stuff, and just making an insane amount of money over ridiculous stuff. You know, people are using this end of the world or end of the age stuff to make money, and also to lead people astray. You know, be belittling people. You know, like me personally, you know, I encourage people to be leaders, and that's really something that you should be inspired to look at. You know, to be a leader yourself. You know, a lot of people down themselves so much, you know, that they do look towards somebody greater. You know, like, oh, look, that person does good things. You know, I'd like to be positive like that person, right? And you know, and that's where you know that person should feel that they can be that way. You know, that's what my videos are, is to inspire people to become their own leader in their life and in their path. You know, not to let the spiritual journey go to your head. You know, because when you're on a spiritual journey, you gain a lot of knowledge and understanding on how the spirit realm works, how spirits work, how the connection to the universal God works, and as well as how all the angels and demons in the spirit realm works. You really start to learn on how that works if you look into it. Now, if you just jump into your spiritual journey and just start getting distracted with tarot card readings and messiahs and angels, you know, and listening to angels more, you know, listening to the angels or ETs or whatever more than you're connecting and listening to the universal God, that's where you really start to fall into that illusion. Um, and you really get lost in your spiritual journey. I'm trying to keep this as simple as I can. But I was watching a video. I'm trying to write notes down because it's a really long video. But they were there's a scripture in the Bible that said that God will God will send visions and parables to you to deceive you. And and a lot of people will take that the wrong way and like, well, why would the universal God want to deceive me? It's not that he wants to deceive you. It's that it wants to challenge you and to see if you can realize um, that it's an illusion and that there's a hidden meaning behind it. That's the whole point of visions and dreams and parables is that you need to figure out the puzzle. A lot of people just take visions as a physical thing, you know. Um, uh, there's a couple people that have explained their visions. One was, the world was destroyed and everybody was, just gone and obliterated, right? So if you look at that in a physical sense, you're like, oh, something devastating must happen to the world. But if you look at the world as if you look at that vision as symbolic, that symbolism, I think um, that video was explaining, that walking through eyeballs and things like that, it's symbolisms. It's symbolisms. Eyes can represent looking within yourself, a reflection, a self-reflection, um, seeking inner guidance. Maybe that there's a lot of turmoil within your body that you need to, within your temple that you need to heal yourself. Because if you are a chaotic mess in your life, and you get a vision of, the world looking like it's just been annihilated by a bomb or something, that can mean that that's how you feel within yourself. God is letting you know, the universal God is letting you know, hey, you're messed up and you need to learn on how to heal yourself. You need to learn how to heal your earth or heal yourself. And people seem to avoid that and just take it as oh, this is what's going to happen to the world. I had another person that constantly says that they see ships coming down and they're destroying buildings, and it's just all destruction. And it's realizing, that the old must be destroyed to create a new. you know you have to heal yourself within to create a new you. I went through that myself, and I've said this many times in my videos. I went through my darkest time, so I went through my own destruction, my own apocalypse, so then I can reach a higher state of self. It's you have to have that building bridge, that inspiration, no matter how grotesque the visions may be. You have to have some kind of tool to push you forward. You may experience something in life that you didn't want to experience, but it's there for you to experience to push yourself forward. And this is where a lot of people's visions are clouding their judgment. That's the word, clouding their judgment. And it's leading them astray, and it's leading others astray. Because if you're proclaiming yourself to be the the return of the Christ, the Messiah, uh, you got to realize that that is a huge claim to make. No matter how much knowledge you have, or powers that you may show the world, does that mean that that makes you better? Does it not mean that you need to be worshipped? Because that was the old world. And in the Bible, it says in there, beware of false prophets, because they will perform miraculous signs and magic to awe the audience. But those who stay true to themselves, to their heart, and listen to the words and stay connected to God are going to realize that, that's going to lead you astray, because you have to realize, just how the world works. There are so many followers in this world, and if you see someone performing miraculous signs, say there's a person that can just, they touch you and they heal you from cancer, they just heal you from everything, they regrow limbs, say a person lost their arm and the arm goes back right in front of millions of people, that right there is going to be, for the followers, because there's so many followers, they're going to go, oh, look at that marvelous person, and they will begin to worship that person and go, oh, it's the Son of God, it's the Son of God. And that is exactly what um, Satan or Lucifer, the fallen angels, want you to do, is worship and worship somebody else. It is going to end up being that one part. The ultimate test is, are you going to worship a person, that proclaims to be the Son of God? And this is a serious thing to think about, because it will happen one day. It will, whether it's technology based or supernatural based, it will happen eventually, because it's to test your spiritual development, and to test your strength with your connection with God. It'll be cool to watch, but always have that in the back of your mind. Don't be deceived by that. Don't worship that, because even in the Bible it says, do not worship any angels, do not worship anything. Don't even, even Christ himself said, um, to not. He always, it's always so hard because the Bible is mistranslated. But the Christ always says, I am. Through me, uh, what is it? It's just, he always says I am. And a lot of people seem to misunderstand what that I am is. But I'm going to confuse you as I'm confusing myself. So anyways, yeah, you just got to pay attention and listen very closely to people's teachings, and don't take them uh, as truth. And I've seen a lot of people see the deception from these false messiahs or these false messengers. It's getting to the point where people are starting to, just go, it's just another false messiah, and that's it. And you gotta also learn not to be so fearful too, because like these false messiahs literally will say, oh well, I sent this to source, and um, or God, and God's going to remember this and will pay judgment on those who don't worship the false messiahs. But that's not true, because what they send to source, we also send to source, because source does not judge by actions. And I actually did write this down. I got a lot of writing to do, but it said right on here, humble yourselves. and examine the scriptures and research everything, and then pray and meditate for discernments, so the universal God will reveal the truth to you. The great things about the universal God slash the Most High judges the thoughts and attitudes of your hearts, and not just the actions. And basic meaning is that you can do beautiful work in your actions. You can be the most inspirational person in your actions, but if it's fake, the spirit realm and the universal God will know if it's fake, because you're judged by your thoughts and your attitudes. You're judged by your thoughts and your heart. That's what you're judged on. And everything is recorded based on that. So when people make threats of, oh, if you don't follow me or take care of me, you're denying God. But that's not true, because each person's heart and soul is weighed entirely. So your whole life is recorded to be judged. And that's why it's so important to study your actions and your heart. And that's really something that, should encourage you, so that when someone downs you, you got to look at your life and go, um, no, that's not how it is, because each individual person does not know somebody else's life. That scripture, by the way, was Hebrew 4, chapter 12 and 13, I believe. So anyway, so yeah, but each person's life is only known by you. No one else can read you, and this is a lot where you have to realize, like psychics and stuff, you take it with a grain of salt, because they may know some stuff, but they don't know your heart. And this is where the demons come into play, because demons or the fallen angels will know things, so they will spread some truth out to these psychics or these false messiahs to pull you in. Be like, oh, that person knew so much about me, so they'll pull you in, and they will feed you enough to keep you tied up. And that can go with anything. That can go with religion, just mainly manipulators, false messiahs, light workers, stuff. They will feed you enough message to pull you in, and that's something you have to really pay attention to. It's like, feeding scraps to a dog. You feed them a little bit, and they're going to keep coming back. And that's just, that's where you have to realize you're being misled. You got to take your journey for your own and learn from others. It's okay to try to discover stuff. When you're on a spiritual journey, you're really seeking out answers for answers you don't have, because you'll have many questions as you go on a spiritual journey, as what I went through. But like I said, I always had the beware of deception and so on and so forth. So I listen to others, but I use it and think about it and meditate, pray on what I learned from an individual. But I never go back and go, oh, can you help me out with this and that, blah blah blah. It's taking that part of being a leader in your life and path. So I think that's about it, pretty much. So yeah, just be aware of everything. And I think that's why a lot of people too are a lot of hush hush right now, because they don't want to fall into that false messiah complex. Because like I said, there can be many followers, because people find that the easiest way out is to just be a follower or something. Once they're a follower or something, they think that everything's just good. They're just like, oh yeah, this is great stuff, and then they just keep following it, and they never grow and mature spiritually. And that's where a lot of these false messiahs, false Christs, or whatever, fall into the same thing. Is that they don't listen to anybody, they refuse to listen to people, and they don't look at all aspects of it. They take their own ego and experience and just say, hey, I've been doing this. A person can be doing this for like 30 years. And they'll say, oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. I know way more than you. But that's not entirely true. And that's where they fall into their own ego and their own lies. Because, the demons and ETs or angels or whatever you want to call them are so I don't know what that word would be, just very manipulative. The inner voice can be distorted a lot. And if you say, oh, are you a messenger of God, or are you of the light, and stuff like that, them demons can say, oh yeah, we are, because you have to be very, very informative when you speak to them. I mean, honestly, if your shield and your light is strong, demons will just be scared of you. Literally, they'll be scared of you. So you really have to, or they'll respect you too. Beings will also respect you. So they're either going to respect you and just stand there just like, or they'll be very fearful and just run away, or cower away in a shadow. And either way, but yeah. So when you're listening to your inner guidance, I guess, Bryce just making another video about it. But when you're listening to your inner voice, or those angels or demons that you're listening to, write it down, pray, meditate on it, and take it for, just take it as a maybe, not just this is it. Because a lot of people, like I said, are striving for answers, without any answers to give, because your answers are within your heart, and you still have to discern it as well. And that's why in these videos I make things so very open, and try to make it as honest as I can. Because when you're open and honest with things, people will see that realness, because people want to see realness to it. When people speak, they want to see that realness. They don't want to be talked down to. Nobody wants to be talked down to. I mean, you get that enough from if you're in school, or if you're at work, or things like that, your family members. People get real tired of being talking down too. So when people talk down to you, they don't want to listen to it. It's just they're trying to unwind during the week, and they don't need to hear more of it. That's where people are seeking out people who speak from the heart. And that's one of the main reasons why I make videos, is to be that speaker of heart. To let the world know, that there is people who live by the heart. I truly do. So then, if you ever meet me in person, this is the same person you're going to meet. And that's really a good thing to know. Because a lot of people in videos will say, well, you just don't know me. You don't know how I am outside these videos. And right there, that person that's making the video should listen to themselves and go, well, if they don't know me by my videos, then what kind of person am I at all? You know? Because if you're real and true, you're going to speak freely with your heart, and you'll be real. A lot of people, some of the people that are messiahs, false messiahs, claim that they try to think that they're smarter than you. They try to use tactics. A lot of people try to use tactics of um, arrogance or arrogance or cockiness, um, just to make you look stupid because they think that they're all smart and almighty. Um, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. They really just they create a huge a huger mess than they need to be making. I was just watching another person just before I made this video. They talk so arrogant and so they fall for the demons. That's what the demons and Satan and stuff want you to fall into, is they want they want you to talk about demons and keep demons and Satan and the Freemasons and all that stuff. They want to keep them alive. They want to stay alive. So they will pick at you and want you to talk about them. Even I've talked about them, and I'll still talk about them to a degree. But you don't want to act like they are going to take control of your life because you're letting out their secrets. They want you to let their secrets out because they know that there's nothing you can do about it. There really isn't anything you can do about it. You would have to be a huge mass of people to change that whole structure. When the whole world has a structure that's been running for thousands of years, if it took it thousands of years to be built, you can't just change it overnight. One person can't just go boom, that's it. And that brings up another thing, that these false messiahs say, oh, we're clearing out millions and millions of demons, without realizing that a lot of their energy is being wasted, because that is not, you cannot take out an individual's demons to a degree. Can you do it psychically? Yes. And can you do it physically? Yes. But you're not the it in it all, because it takes a collective unit to heal the world. It takes a lot more than just using your energy to heal the world. You have to use your mind and consciousness to heal the world. You got to use your heart to heal and purify the world. It takes each individual soul to help heal the world. And this is where you got to realize that you're in your own little bubble of perception, and you're here to heal this world. You're here to heal your town, or you're here to heal your city, as a collective. Because I'm not in Washington, I'm not over in Egypt, so I don't know what's going on over there. I can read stuff on what's going on over there, but I don't know if it's real or not. And people will say, well, we're under the same sun, we're under the same moon. Yeah, we do see a sun and we do see a moon, but it doesn't mean that that's the same moon. It may be nighttime, but it doesn't mean it's the same. That's where you get into timelines and a whole other bunch of stuff. But yeah, so it's cool to help the world, but don't waste your life away and proclaim that you're it, because you're not. Because there is so many people that are helping heal this world, and each person needs that credit. Whether they make videos or not. If you're a healer, you're helping heal the earth. Awesome. Keep doing that. But don't proclaim that you're the it factor. That without you, the world's going to be destroyed and obliterated. Another person was like, well, if you destroy my light, then the world will be destroyed and stuff like that. It doesn't work that way. Like I said, in my previous video, talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy. There is Guardians of the Galaxy that watch and monitor um, each solar system. So if they see something weird going on, they're gonna go check it out. And they are way, way bigger and powerful than the human race and any of the other beings out there. They're called Guardians of the Galaxy for a reason. Um, and there's no way in this kind of vessel that you could even match up to them. This is where I just laugh at the people who proclaim to be the it factor, to proclaim to be the Messiah, because it's not that way, And if you really look at the Bible, the Christ return, it's so symbolic of what that means, and you can read, that it's multiple. The return of the Christ is multiple beings. You can read that in Revelation. It's multiple beings. It is a huge galactic ship, the Guardians of the Galaxy. But anyways, this video is getting long. So yeah, so beware of these false messiahs. Realize that the person in the Bible, when they do come here, they, not one person, but they come here, it's going to be as a whole unit. It's not just one person. They're not going to be born here. Like I said, it was a messenger. Yahweh, Yeshua, Jehovah, whatever you want to call him. But since it was Hebrew, it's Yahweh or Yeshua. He was a messenger. And that was it. Just a messenger helping humanity come back within, learn about spirit, and get back to that connection with God. And that was it. That was his whole message. And it just got into a dramatized story. And that messenger became a idol worshipped. And it's just, this is where the complexity of a false messiah came into play. So everybody's proclaiming to be a false messiah. So yeah, so just beware of that. Don't be scared. Don't be fearful. Like I said, the universal God judges your heart and your attitude and how you feel and react to things, not just your actions. So be very, very aware of that. So you're not fearful that you're doing something wrong. When people claim that you are. So yeah, so anyways, hopefully this video helps you be aware of false messiahs or false messengers, because they are out there. They really are. And just there's so many other teachings that I feel that people should just really just discern it and just really pray and meditate on it, and just see if what you're watching is for you, or if it's not, because we are free will beings and we're here to grow in spirit, because it is all about spirit. Whether you're on a spiritual journey or not, it is all about spirit. So yeah, so I love you all very much. Hopefully this helps you or helps somebody. So yeah, so yeah, so I'll talk to you next time. So love yourself, keep shining bright. Just realize that when you have visions and parables and all that stuff, Don't look at don't look at it as a physical perception. Look at it as a symbolism. It could be symbolism within, that you need to heal yourself, clarify yourself. It can be so many things. That's where you just write it down and try to decipher it later on. Because the truth will be revealed to you, and it may be slow, but it will be revealed to you as long as you don't let it get to your head. If you let it get to your head, then it's going to really cloud you. So that's where you just got to just sit down, talk to the universal God, and just figure things out. And that's it. So yeah, so I love you all very much, and I will talk to you in a little bit.